the main project right now that we're trying to get done pretty quick, a fast turnaround, and a lot of parts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today is new tire day, I guess we would call it that. Got off the trip to Tennessee, and before I head up to New York, I needed to go ahead and freshen up the bike a little bit. The rear tire, and I'll show you when I get to Andy's shop, rear tire could have maybe gone 3,000 miles, maybe, but I didn't want to take that chance. So we're heading up to Andy's, we're gonna get this tire swapped out, and then tomorrow I gotta go by Justin's house. We got a big surprise. Got a new bike, well actually two new bikes in the garage. One that is getting some instant work done to it that I think you guys are gonna be pretty stoked on. And then we'll get back to my shop. I'm gonna try to get some work done on the other bikes. Don't know which one I'm gonna work on. I gotta say it over and over again. I got to get those tins off the yellow bike and in the mail for John to be able to get them painted. And I need to get the front end and stuff situated on the Peach bike so I can start riding it. It's rideable. I just want it stock height, so I've already started disassembling it, and it just is what it is. But either way, let's get to Andy's, and we'll pick up from there. So what are you doing? Just kind of giving it a little refresh?
Gaskets.
So how many miles are on this? Oh, I ain't got a gauge on it, so you don't even know.
A lot. I mean, that's motor 3, I think.
I like the narrow glide fender. You don't even see those things anymore. Purpose built for a narrow glide.
Yeah.
Being but like a full.
Yeah, that's
full
one
fender.
Of those looks like an old Springer fender or whatever.
Yeah, I like it. Everybody's watching.
I know.
Like I said, it ain't bad. I mean, it could probably make it another 2,000 to 3,000, but in case I got caught in the rain or something, I just figured it'd be better.
These go away quick, though.
They do. I mean, once they start getting to that point, from here to, I mean, that was only like 1,000 miles to go that far. So
This was new.
this was new when I bought the bike, so these tires were already on there. I would never have bought these tires on my own, but the front still has plenty of life, so that's why, you know, I just figured I'd buy one more, wear these out, and then I'll get something good. I've literally gone no country roads. This is all freeway. But this is an MU85 now, so we'll be a little wider. All right, just left Andy's shop, and I also had to pick up another part that broke on the bike, and that was a neutral safety switch. I guess the vibrations, it's loosening up, so the signal, the ground, or whatever it does to activate the actual little indicator light, it's intermittent. So sometimes I'll be in neutral and it won't light up, and then sometimes it will or whatever. So we got to replace that. What I'm going to do also on this bike is when I get back from Kentucky this upcoming, I guess it's 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna do a video because basically Kentucky's gonna put me at 6 months of ownership. Well, I've owned it longer, but 6 months of the bike actually being on the road and about 6,500 miles or so. I don't know the exact math, but somewhere in that ballpark. So 6 months, 6,000 miles, we'll say, multiple states, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm gonna go through all the parts on the bike, give you kind of like a review opinion on the seat, the suspension, you know, things like that. And then I'm also going to give a breakdown list of everything that I've broken on the bike, because it's been little things, but it's starting to become kind of fun to see what I break on which trip I'm on. So obviously going to Tennessee, I broke a couple things, and we'll go over all that in that video. Nothing major, but it is what it is. Anyways, see you guys back in the garage. All right, so I've cleaned everything up underneath here. Like I said, it's about 30-something hundred miles of riding that we've done so far. So I went ahead and cleaned everything up. I got new anti-seize and everything on, you know, my bare knuckle sliders so that they're nice and clean again. Cleaned out the little channels, push the sliders all the way to the front so when I slide the wheel in, it makes it easier. But there's also another thing that I ordered for this bike to hopefully make it a little easier to install. So as many of you guys may or may not know, with these older bikes with the sealed bearings or the Timken bearings, non-sealed bearings, you end up having two spacers on the pulley side. So you have a spacer, kind of sleeve, whatever you want to call it, that goes in through the wheel seal and kind of presses up against the bearing. And then you have another one that will press against that into the swing arm. Now, I've talked about it before that a lot of the damage from the swing arm comes because of this. This thing is just a fragment bigger than what the actual hole for the axle to go through on the swing arm. So when you over tighten it, or if you don't properly torque it, or whatever the case may be, you can kind of crush it. Gentleman on Instagram that I bought a few parts off now, FXR Forever, makes this really, really nice one-piece spacer, wheel spacer, that goes on the left side only, because your right side, your brake caliper mount, is actually the other half of your spacer. So he makes this right here, and if you look, it's pretty much the same height and everything. It's just instead of having two spacers, you have just one. But the real nice part about it is, I don't know if it's a little too dark or not, but the shoulder isn't going to let you crush your swing arm, if that makes sense. So versus having it like this part is actually going to go back into the wheel just like the factory one did, but this thing's going to sit nice and flush against that. So when we bring this over to the wheel, it's going to sit in there like that. So it's definitely, I don't know if it's zooming in or not, nice and polished. At least the ones he offers are polished. And it's got a little more shape to it, but the big important thing is that it's got that nice shoulder on there. And also being a one piece, hopefully it makes putting that wheel on a lot easier. Also, as you guys can see, like I said, I don't know if I said it while we're at Andy's, I went with the MU85, which is a 140 width, 85 aspect ratio tire. Genuine factory would be a 130/90. So the height between the 90 and 85 are almost the same because the width. Aspect ratio is the percentage or ratio to the width. And a 90/130 and a 85/140. The math comes out to be the same as far as height, but this one's definitely 10 millimeters wider. So it's going to kind of fill up this rear fender just a little bit more, which is going to be really cool. So I'm going to set you guys up. Quickly throwing this wheel in. I also got to do the oil change all the fluids, kind of give a once over on the bike, check all the other nuts and bolts, make sure nothing else is going to break. All right, let's get you guys set up. Alright, got the tire on. It's a little bit more of a pain to get the bigger tire in there with the saddlebags on this little jack that I was using. I wish I would have used the other traditional motorcycle jack that I have that I usually use. I could get the bike up a little higher and it probably worked a little easier. But the saddlebags do make it a little more difficult to kind of squeeze the tire in there. Either way, got it done, got that on there. As you can see, I do still need to clean up, obviously clean up my work area and clean the wheel and the pulley and all that stuff, but everything's on there, everything's tightened and torqued. And then, like I said, as you can tell, you probably won't be able to tell since there ain't a side-by-side comparison, but that 140 fills the fender up perfectly. And it just has like a little bit of extra bulge coming off the edge, which I really, really like. So I think what I'm gonna do is call it a night. It's getting late, like I said, it is starting to rain. Tomorrow, we're gonna go by Justin's house at lunch, show you what he's got going on, and then oil change, nut and bolt check, and start packing my bags, because I am on this bike Monday morning heading all the way up to the East Coast Jam. So when I pick back up, I'll kind of give you guys my route, because I know this video is going to drop right before I actually leave. So I'll give you guys the route that I'm taking, show you guys kind of some of my must-sees on the trip, and then some of the other people that I'm going to try to hopefully see on the trip. I don't know. We'll see how it all works out. And yeah, just stay tuned. All right, what's up? It's the next day. We're over here at Justin's house, and I'm gonna let Justin kind of talk to you guys through what's going on in the garage because we got something special. I don't know if we've ever said it on video yet, if we talked about this bike. Either way, we got a new bike for the channel. He's coming up with a lot of parts for it. We definitely have the FXR that still needs its work. He started mocking up parts on the Softail, Hudson's bike, where there it is. It had a little bit of work done to it, so rather than me talk, I'm gonna let Justin kind of tell you what's going on.
I have way too many open projects right now. My thing I always went by before is like, I only have one project at a time, and I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5. The motor will be ready and done tomorrow, so everything can go in tomorrow. So I'm trying to get this bike back together running to take it with me to Kentucky to that show. That's pretty much it on that. I'm putting this back to where it was. Nothing's changing, so I just can't wait to ride it again. The Softail Fat Boy, like I said at the very beginning, it's just a slow project, nothing crazy. I just need to mock up the rear fender and wheel to make sure I'm good. I still have to make some spacers for the front wheel. Other than that, nothing really is changing much on it. And then
I guess Hudson's bike.
All the brackets are cut off. It needs a lot of smoothing out. So I'm letting him do all the grinding, cutting, and smoothing and all that. So he has to come back and feather it in a little bit more. We have a couple brackets to weld on. Then it can go to powder coat. And then once it's back in powder coat, it's gonna go pretty quick. So the trees are done. Swing arm material just got here 2 days ago. The wheels are done, ready to go. The Lindals, which are so sick. I want those for myself. The main project right now that we're trying to get done pretty quick, a fast turnaround and a lot of parts. So Jetty, he bought the new CVO ST, which, real quick on that, as far as a stock Harley bike goes, if I had to ride one stock Harley bike for the rest of my life, that bike would be it. It was set up really nice for just a factory bike, but we're changing everything now. So we got a HBI shorty pipe on there. I just mocked it up yesterday and everything looks good, clears. I think they had to make a change on these new ones because that sensor, the ones before were really close to that sensor, and now there's plenty of room, so it works out great. We are running my subframe and my swing arm. The swing arm's not made yet, so we can get some lift out of it and just kind of clean up all the junk in the back. I wanted to run these tail lights just because I think they're kind of cool and different. So I drew up a 3D model yesterday to house these, to mount them to my subframe. But we're gonna suck them like back into, like towards inside the fender and the bags. We are gonna run, I don't know if you call it forged carbon, crushed carbon, whatever. We're gonna run that same style rear fender, and then it'll be all opened up. I do have a bunch of little cool ideas with we're gonna run mid controls, but I still wanna run the factory little mini boards. I think they're dope. And then I came up with this the other day, because they match. So this is the huge brake pad that they run. But I'm just gonna buy one more of these and then run them for the rear pegs. So everything matches and clean. I'm going like a bunch of stock route, but not. Same thing with the seat. We got a Saddleman seat, but we're gonna really kind of match the stock Solo seat. There's a lot of cool ideas. I'm really, really excited about this one, and hopefully it'll be done pretty quick. Be nice to get it out to Born Free, California, but I'm not sure if I can hit that or not. We're gonna try. We'll see. If not, I'm still gonna try to take this out to Cali. And then I think Jetty's gonna try, just depending with our workload, gonna try to take Money Pit out there as well, because I don't think it's been out there. There's a lot to do. I am freaking covered up, which is a blessing. There's not enough time in the day for this stuff.
Yeah, so with that, that's fortunately our East Coast trip together has kind of been postponed, which just means that I'm not gonna be doing any of the shop stops. We were gonna stop at a few shops. I don't think we ever said who we were stopping by, but one of the things with the trip was going to be that we're going to be kind of hitting a few.
I'm still planning on going out. I was hoping you could come out and make that trip as well. I still don't know if you can or not. I still plan on doing the East Coast trip, and it might be closer to the end of July. I still want to go by Amy Larry's shop, John Snyder's shop, Dave Perwick's shop, Curly's shop. Like, I want to make a big loop back around. So that's the goal still for July. Yeah. It just sucks. My motor took shit. It cost me a lot of money, so it kind of put a hindering on that. I hung Jeremy's sign that he made for me finally. It only took me like a month.
Looks good though. Nice and centered. A little crooked.
Hey, that's not.
It's straight. All right, so there you have it. Like I said, I'm just gonna be kind of doing my own little ride and take you guys along with us. But either way, we're gonna go get some lunch and then we'll go back into my garage, get my bike squared away. Yeah, that should be the end of this video. Y'all stay tuned and well, YouTube time about 5 seconds. All right, it's the next day. We're getting back into the garage. I got the blue bike 100% squared away for the upcoming trip. All the fluids are changed, the rear tires installed. What else did I do? Check the front tire pressure. Did kind of like a quick nut and bolt check throughout the entire bike. So this bike is ready to go because I leave out on Monday. And like I said, at the end of this video, after I work on this one, I'm going to kind of give you guys a better idea of what's going on with that trip. I know we talked about it for a while, and like I said, there's been some changes. Obviously, I'm doing it solo, but I'm going to give you guys a full kind of rundown, so that way, if I am passing through and you're heading to the FXR Jam, or you want to come down to Kentucky, or whatever the case may be, you know where to kind of jump in and meet me. But either way, I have to get these tins off this bike and in the mail this week. John Myers, a good friend of mine back home, has been patiently waiting for me to get these things to him so he can get started on them. Like I said in the past, everybody's going to hate on me for changing the color on here. I don't think it's really going to show it. There you go. That's a good sign of it. But the whole entire yellow looks like that on the front. On the rear, let me see if this side will be a little easier to see. The gas tank also has a couple of cracks. Somewhere in here, like right here, there. They're not as bad as the cracks on the fenders. There's a good one right there. Not as bad as the cracks on the fenders, but it's still cracked, so therefore the whole bike's getting repainted. So I'm just gonna set you guys up on a time lapse real quick. We're gonna get these tins off so I can get them boxed up in the mail. Should be getting the tins back sometime in mid to late June, so about a month out. I know I said I wanted to get working on the Peach bike. I mean, I can work on that one while the tins are out on this one, but I'm hoping to have all the FXRs in this garage kind of where I want them, more or less, by, I would say by, I don't want to say by Born Free, Texas, because they'll definitely be done by then. Either way, let's set you guys up on the time lapse. Let's get this bike apart, and we'll pick back up at the end of this video to tell you exactly where I'll be, when I plan to be there. All right, let's do it. As you see, just got everything stripped down on this bike. It was a little more work than I thought. I'm actually sweating, and it's kind of in the evening time, as you see. But either way, everything's off the bike. I went ahead and took the rear wheel off. It does make it easier to get to the center fender bolt, if you will. Plus, I need to send that wheel off, have the tire taken off of it, and given to Rick so he can polish the edge. So the bike's going to be running a 19-inch front 9-spoke mag with a polished edge, and then the solid rear wheel polished edge. I don't know, I just kind of like that look. I've seen a few bikes do it, and I don't know, it appeals to me. So it's a little something different. The paint job on this bike's going to be something different than what else is in the garage. It's not going to be no factory OEM style paint. So I'm just trying to make this bike look, feel, just be different, if you will, compared to the other two. I got to pull the rest of the stuff off the fender, put it in a box, ship it out. Hopefully tomorrow that stuff will be all shipped. And then Monday, so tomorrow's Saturday, Monday I hit the road. So Memorial Day, I'm on the road, and I'm gonna drop a little map right here. Basically, the plan is I'm gonna ride from here to Bristol, Tennessee. I think it's about just under 700 miles. So day one's gonna be to Bristol, Tennessee. I should be meeting up with a gentleman, Coley in Atlanta, wants to go up to the East Coast Jam, so he's probably gonna jump in with me. We'll leave from Bristol. We're gonna pass through 81, you know, just south of or bottom side of the Appalachian Mountains, however you wanna call it, and ride along that edge until we get to Washington, D.C. I wanna pull off in Washington. I haven't seen Washington, D.C. since I was a kid with my grandfather. I just want to do maybe like an hour walk around, just kind of see a couple key things, hop back on the bikes, and try to make it north of Baltimore for the end of day 2. So not sure how far into Pennsylvania we'll go. If it's going to be kind of South Pennsylvania, maybe up to Harrisburg, somewhere around that. That'll be the end of day 2. Day 3, Wednesday, make my trip the rest of the way to New Haven, Connecticut, where I'll be meeting up with Ashley from Unit 6 Customs. He was on last year's FXR tour. Super cool guy. Him and his friends, Brits on tour or Brits aboard, whatever they were saying. Their accents kind of made it sound like Brits on tour, but I think they were Brits aboard. Either way, they were the life of the party last year for the FXR tour, and I'm going up there. I'm going to hang out with Ashley. He's inviting me into his home. He's going to show me what New Haven pizza is all about. So we're going to get some pizza. I'm going to do like a little interview with him, kind of let you guys understand more about what the FXR tour is if you're new to the channel. Because I don't think anyone's really talked about the FXR tour since the FXR tour. I think Rennie went on a podcast and a few other people have discussed it, but no one's really came out and explained. And I think Ashley's gonna be the perfect one. So plan on doing that. When we leave Ashley's house, we're gonna head up towards Massachusetts on Thursday, meet with Chris and those guys. Chris, Suicide Kings Chris, that's who I got my exhaust from. That's who I think pretty much hosts the East Coast Jam. Don't get me quoted. I think he does it with maybe a partner or something. Either way, they're coming across Massachusetts. We're going to jump in with them, make it to the East Coast Jam, which is in East Durham, New York. I'm going to hang out there for about probably 4 or 5 hours, and then I want to get on the road, and I want to make it to Niagara Falls. I want to be in Niagara Falls Thursday night so I can wake up bright and early Friday morning, see the falls, and then start heading the rest of the way down to Kentucky. Owensboro, Kentucky, that's where the event's going on. That's where you can find Justin. That's where you can find Thundermax. That's where you can find Jeremy from Lucky Strike. That's where you can find, who else is going to be there? Clean Moto's going to be there. I don't know, maybe I said Ace Graphic. Tony with the Bust a Knuckle Stunt Tour. Those guys will be putting on shows for the entire weekend. I think it kicks off on Thursday. And then ends on Sunday. So a lot of different shows. Get Bent Moto is doing a performance show. There's going to be sound competitions, big wheel shows. You know, whatever you're into motorcycle-wise, they should have it. If all goes well, I should be there Friday evening, and then I'll be at the show all day Saturday. So definitely come by Justin's booth. Say hi to us. Tell us what you hate about the channel. Tell us what you love about the channel. We're just having fun. So definitely stop by. Definitely say hey. And then, then back home on Sunday. And then we'll be back to working on these bikes. Because like I said, suspension, got to figure it out on that bike. And then this one, I need to start getting a parts list together because I don't need it torn down, sitting like this in the garage for, you know, months. So that's it. We're going to cut the video off here. Hope you'll see you guys on the road. If not, maybe the next event, and we'll just go from there. So you guys be safe and take care. We'll see you then. Peace.